Hello, boys and girls. As y'all know, on this particular StreamYard account, I don't have my little intro. I thought I did, because I should have it on two different ones, but for some reason it's not there. So, we'll get back to that, I guess, next live stream. So, anyways, hello to Snurtapurpus Burr. I know I can't ever do that right. Hello, Burr. Hello, Miss Frosty. Mwah. Oh, hello, Daniel. How are you doing, darling? So glad y'all are here. Man, StreamYard is acting silly. It's like it's one person here. No, there's not. There's at least three, possibly more. StreamYard is always trying to hurt my feelings. Shit. Anyway, as you know, I will try to get through these as quick as I can because tonight we have a movie watch along. So I'm going to try to do it like 2 or 3 times a week, have some kind of Halloween themed movie to play all the way up to Halloween, because Raquel has called dibs on Halloween night, which is fair. And I always feel that, Halloween starts, like, the Halloween season starts the day after my birthday. So tonight we are going to be watching Monster Squad. I decided that it would be good to play movies that aren't too bad. If I do play any, of course I'll put a warning, because you never know. Someone's kids might be looking over their shoulder. I don't want to be the cause of some kids' nightmares. You know what I mean? So I remember seeing Monster Squad in the theaters when I was a kid. So yeah, I feel like it would be kind of something fun for us all to watch. So I will always try to have some mild horror movies that aren't too bad. Sometimes the cheesiness is fun. You don't always need gore and horrible stuff. And there's plenty of that everywhere anyway. So, anywho, so let us jump in it. Tire screen, yes. All right, so this one I saw is from 4 days ago. Bright comet to be visible without a telescope for the first time in 80,000 years. Now, I'm no rocket surgeon, obviously, but how? I mean, I know that they can kind of calculate theoretically, but like, I feel like Halley's Comet's easier to do because it comes around like what, every 75 years, so you can calculate how regular it is by recorded occurrences. But this is going to be visible for the first time in 80,000 years. Where is it documented for that? I mean, did they find something from 80,000 years ago where somebody goes, "Hey, yeah, this comet, yeah, I totally saw it." You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I see these and I kind of wonder, how do you know that someone 80,000 years ago didn't see it without a telescope just fine? There's just no record of it. I know, I just want to complain about it. I mean, on the surface, it sounds kind of cool. You think into it and you're like, how do you know 80,000 years ago it even came around? What is his first attempt? We don't know. I don't know. At the end of September, well, apparently I fucking missed that, the world's inhabitants will have a unique opportunity to see an amazing comet, C 2023A3. I apparently fucking missed that, so that's my bad. But mostly I just wanted to bitch about the headline. Like, I'm sure somebody who's got a degree in this shit could probably explain it to me. I don't know. Makes me wonder, like, did someone leave an 80,000-year-old post-it note going, "Yeah, I couldn't see it, sorry." Like, I don't know. Just wanted to bitch about that for a minute. All right, on to this. So I'm sure y'all have heard about the port workers are on strike. Holy fuck, around the Gulf and the whole eastern seaboard, it seems. And I've been hearing some crazy rumors on TikTok, and I'm going to say rumors because I haven't seen anything else yet. It wouldn't surprise me if this rumor is true. But the rumor is that one of the reasons they're striking is not just the pay, but because sometimes they hear people or children crying in the storage containers, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. That's the rumor. That's obviously not what it says on this headline because, boy, that would be wild. But that's just the rumor that's circulating around TikTok. I wouldn't be surprised if it is somewhat true, but unsubstantiated at this time. But it's an interesting concept to think about, though. Because, I mean, lots of kids go missing everywhere. So, I mean, they got to be getting them in somehow. But it says thousands of unionized dock workers on the East Coast and the Gulf Coast went on strike Tuesday morning, stranding cargo and sending ripples through the supply chain for consumer goods and manufacturing plants. Oh, parts. I'm sorry, manufacturing parts. My brain, I'm sorry. A contract between operators of port terminals and the International Longshoremen Association covering workers who load and unload cargo ships at 36 ports expired on Monday. Their facility includes huge container ports in New Jersey, Virginia, Georgia, Texas, as well as the Port of Baltimore, a major hub for imported and export of vehicles and heavy machinery. Well, that does sound pretty wild. And I am wondering, I do wonder how it will affect a lot of us. I do not know. But a lot of our stuff actually comes into the Port of New York and the Port of Los Angeles. And the reason I know that is because back in June, somebody predicted an earthquake was going to hit Los Angeles, a big one. It didn't happen. Well, a smaller one did, but not a big one. And I wondered if that would be to sabotage the ports. And I was looking up to try to find out what ports were like the biggest ones that we have the most stuff coming through. And it said the Port of Los Angeles and the Port of New York. It doesn't mean the others, them on strike isn't going to still cause some problems. Let's see. The Port Operators Group, the United States Maritime Alliance, and the union remain in an impasse over wage increase. President Biden said that he is not planning to invoke a nearly 80-year-old law to force dock workers back to work. It is the first such walkout at all these ports since 1977. I mean, yeah, I have to look it up. I don't know what they're getting paid, but I don't know if they have a good reason for this or not. I haven't really dived into it too much because there's, so much going on in the world. It's hard to dive into everything. Cargo that could be affected by the strike include everyday consumer goods like bananas, many of which come through the Port of Delaware. Just over half of the imported apparel, footwear, and accessories that come through the East Coast ports, manufacturing parts, and cars move along these ports too. Well, damn. And that's wild because I did not know that bananas came up through there. Because I assume that's something that's more tropical, like something you get from South America. I mean, I don't know, but I think so. So it makes sense that would, I guess if it's the strike is happening at the Gulf, that would be where I would assume the bananas would be coming in. Coming in through the Port of Delaware is a bit of a surprise to me, actually. But, okay. Let's see. And also, I figured their timing was wild because around the 27th, 28th, they were starting to talk about them going on strike, which I thought was interesting because that was about the same time that Hurricane Helene made landfall. I looked it up just to be sure. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but if I wanted to put a, X-Files, Mulder conspiracy on it, I would say, wouldn't it be weird if they were able to affect the weather and they knew the port authority or the port dock workers were going to go on strike, and so they did a hurricane to punish them? Wouldn't that be wild? Because, the Gulf of Mexico, the up along the seaboard is like your normal hurricane path. Then again, it is October, so, I don't know. I guess it's not outrageous that there'd be a hurricane, but it seems like it was an excessively damaging one this time. So I thought I'd just put a little spin on that to see, wouldn't that be wild if? But anywho, let me go back over here and see everyone for a minute. Hello. Oh, okay, it sounds good. Lots of hugs to you. All right. So, all right, let's knock this out. Now, this annoyed the ever-loving dog shit out of me. And yes, part of it is because I don't want us to be involved in a war in the Middle East, even though we've helped start it and we've helped fund it and we've helped cause it in every way fucking possible. I'm just really tired of our soldiers going over and dying for these stupid Middle East lies. I really am. So this extra pisses me off. The 700 soldiers from Tennessee Army National Guard deploying to the Middle East. This is a shit time for it. Mm. And this was actually right as Hurricane Helene was making landfall. That seems really dumb that just as a hurricane is making landfall, you thought, you know what sounds like a good idea? Sending a bunch of our fucking National Guard troops to the Middle East. Gee, that sounds like such a stupid fucking idea, actually. What the fuck? We have no business over there. All we're going to do is end up with more of our soldiers with PTSD or dead. Like, no good ever comes from us sending our soldiers into some fucking Middle Eastern bullshit. It really doesn't. More than 700 soldiers in the Tennessee Army National Guard's 278th Armored Cavalry Regiment are departing Saturday, the 28th, on the first leg of their year-long deployment to the Middle East. Fuck. This is so fucking stupid. Apparently they have long-term plans for this fucking war. They really do. God. Oh, and they'll be going to Kuwait. Lovely. So they can just be right outside, not far from Iraq, with all the shit that's now starting to kick back up again. Fuck. I would say, I don't know why we bothered even leaving, but honestly, we kind of never did. Anyway, and just to change pace just a little, Microsoft Copilot can see what you see on the internet. Almighty, I miss the days of an Etch-a-Sketch, kind of. Fuck. You might want to start treating your web browser like you're at work, at least if you want to use Microsoft's new Copilot Vision feature, which I actually don't even know what the fuck that is, so I'll have to look into it. The feature, which is natively built into Microsoft Edge, is able to see what you see and hear what you hear as you navigate your browser. All of this AI snooping isn't for nothing. At least they admit it's fucking snooping. Copilot Vision looks at what you're doing online to answer questions, provide recommendations, and summarize content. It can work with the new Copilot voice feature, which, for example, Microsoft Mode, the capabilities of Rotten Tomatoes, showing a user chatting with Copilot while browsing the website looking for a movie recommendations. Ultimately, Copilot settled on Australian comedy for the Australian speaker, saying that it made the choice based, because you're Australian. Wow. And I guess that's taking personal context into account. Yeah, the audacity of that. I really fucking hate that. I mean, I know they say there's no such thing as privacy anymore, but it just pisses me off more and more every fucking time. All right. So y'all remember a week or two ago that, they had arrested the guy in charge of Telegram because, he was letting it be kind of a free-for-all, basically. And they arrested him. and he agreed that he would cooperate with all the powers that be after that. Well, Russian Telegram crashed as news of Iran's attack on Israel broke. Now, I find that interesting. Russian Telegram crashed on evening October the 1st as news broke of a large-scale Iranian missile attack on Israel. The problems affected various elements of Messenger. There was a delay in sending messages, a long download of media files and correspondence, as well as failures when working with channels. Yeah, so as soon as this guy cooperates with the authorities and everything, suddenly now Telegram is crashing and having trouble communicating, letting people communicate when serious shit like this is going on. Ain't that interesting? Yeah, because the CEO, Durov, or whatever the fuck his name is, said that not much has changed. I feel like this, I beg to differ. Telegram channels have become one of the main sources of news in Russia as the Kremlin continues to crack down on opposition media and tightens its control over social media. I feel like everybody's kind of doing that. So let's not make it just sound like Russia now. Come on. But yeah. So after they arrested him and he decided he was going to cooperate with all the powers that be, now we're having issues like this. And I think it's a way of trying to monitor what data is going in before you can see it and control what you see. I really think that's pretty much what Telegram is now turned into, and I feel like this is one of our first examples of that. It should be noted that failures coincide with the beginning of Iran's massive attack on Israel. Earlier, Iran fired several hundred missiles toward Israel. This happened almost simultaneously with the terror attack, with the shooting at the tram in one of the districts of Tel Aviv. Yeah, apparently the news said that two armed guys started doing a mass shooting down there, but their surveillance footage only showed two guys, but only one of them had a gun. Now, it could just be a failure in reporting, but I thought that was an interesting tidbit, but whatever. So, all right, on to the next one. Activists demand Iranian professor with regime ties be removed from Ivy League's Middle East talk. Don't you think it's hilarious when they want to remove somebody who's like, part of the conversation? Activists and Nobel laureate are demanding an Ivy League school cancel their panel featuring a controversial Iranian professor who they accuse of promoting terrorism and supporting the fatwa against author Salam Rushdie. Syed, I'm just going to call him Syed because I can't do that. Syed, a Middle Eastern security expert at Princeton, is scheduled to headline the panel, Israel and Iran, the Future of the Middle East, at Dartmouth on Monday evening. Opponents of the Iranian regime in the U.S. and Europe want the event canceled, noting Syed's past working on behalf of the Iranian regime and alleged ties to terror acts and deaths of 4 students in Berlin in 1992 at the hands of Hezbollah. I'm curious, how do they know he has ties to that? Because I've never even heard of this guy before. But whatever. Detractors also accused Syed of being a lobbyist for the current Iranian government, which he denies. The discursive tools of the Islamic Republic can be as dangerous as deadly weapons, wrote Ibadi, a former Iranian judge who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2003. So, yeah, I think it's kind of wild. They want to have a talk about the future of Iran and Israel, but they want to get rid of their Iranian speaker. I guess I just wanted a one-sided conversation, which doesn't really shock me that much, honestly. All right, next headline. Ex-Iranian President Ahmadinejad claims Mossad infiltrated Iranian intelligence. I don't fucking doubt it. In fact, I haven't heard this guy's name in years, so I'm kind of surprised to hear he's popped back up. Former Iranian President Ahmadinejad alleged that Mossad had extensively infiltrated the Iranian intelligence service in a Monday interview with CNN. Wow. It certainly answers another question I'll be coming up with here in a little bit on another article. According to the former president of the Islamic Republic, Iran's intelligence service established a particular unit designed to combat the activities of Israeli Mossad in the country. Nevertheless, he claimed Israeli agents infiltrated the unit itself. That doesn't surprise me. Sneaky. Ahmadinejad said that head of the secret unit was a Mossad agent, and another 20 Israeli agents work alongside him. So if that's the case, makes you wonder how much, I don't know. Because if Israel is attacking Iran, and they've got units already, like Mossad already infiltrated in there, makes you wonder if, there's been shit done to where it helped push Iran into a war with Israel. I don't know. I'm saying. Based on his account, these agents were responsible for a significant number of intelligence operations inside Iran, including the theft of documents related. Oh, yep. that answers it. Related to the Iranian nuclear program and the elimination of several Iranian nuclear scientists. Well, that certainly answers this question. The Biden issues a warning to Israel on plans to strike Iran's nuclear sites. And these aren't in the order that I had found them. So I had found this first and I thought, well, how? All right, so everybody tries to hide where their nuclear facilities are at for the most part. So how the hell would Israel know where their nuclear site was? Well, that prior article answers that fucking question, doesn't it? President Joe Biden said he does not support Israel striking Iran's nuclear sites in response to a missile attack against its people. The answer is no. Yeah, because what the fuck are you going to do? Fucking weekend to Bernie's? You can do shit. Nobody respects you. Iran doesn't respect you. Israel doesn't respect. Nobody respects you, dude. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, he told reporters traveling with him to South Carolina to see the fallout from Hurricane Helene. Okay, that's about all there is. So basically, he's like, no. But, nobody really cares what he says. Nobody really does at all. Hezbollah unleashes rockets on Israel as IDF storms Lebanon border. Well, at least they're not even bothered to say they're defending themselves anymore. Because how the hell are you going to be like starting fights with 4 different countries and still claim you're defending yourself? Honestly now. Although, actually, going back to that other article that Ajinadad said that Israeli Mossad had infiltrated the Iranian units, then maybe, I don't know, because few places warned that there was going to be an attack on October 7th, so I don't know. I really feel like we're being lied to about so much shit. Anyway, Hezbollah has unleashed a barrage of rockets on several Israeli settlements hours after Israeli Defense Forces launched its raid. Okay, so after. So, yeah, that sounds to me like self-defense, really. Because they sent rockets hours after IDF basically launched its raids on southern Lebanon and were met with heavy resistance. I would imagine so. The Lebanese group targeted the border villages of Shtola, Metula, Avivim, while sending dozens of rockets streaming toward the city of Haifa, a major port city in Israel north, and Tel Aviv. Yeah, that was a relatively short article. So, yeah. I mean, if someone started, storming the border, I mean, like, yeah, it makes sense. We'd send missiles, so, I mean, makes sense to me. Now, this I thought was interesting. Israel unleashes missile few hundred meters from British embassy in Beirut. I'm getting the feeling that Israel really doesn't care what it hits, that any collateral damage is acceptable, is my opinion. I'm guessing their opinion is on this. Israel unleashed a missile on a medical center. Of course it's a medical center. Because, you can't have a war with Israel without them hitting fucking hospitals and shit. Of course not. Jesus fucking Christ. Israel, all right, yeah, near the British embassy in Lebanon. A number of buildings were engulfed in flames after the strike in the Bakara area of central Beirut. Yeah, sorry if I can't pronounce a lot of this. It's part of the reason why I share a screen. So y'all, yeah, that way at least y'all can see what I'm trying to pronounce. An Israeli army's Arabic-speaking spokesman, Akavi Azeki, Jesus Christ, I'm going to need someone to teach me how to pronounce this stuff. Adre reported on X that the army carried out a targeted strike on Beirut. They always call it. They never call it a haphazard mess. Oh, he added in a threatening tone, to be continued. Wow, in a threatening tone. To be continued. What a dick. God almighty. So, yeah, it was a targeted strike. So they did it on purpose to a medical center near the British embassy. And if it's near the British embassy, it makes me wonder if there was any chance any British citizens that may have been at the medical center for whatever, ailments. Hell, I don't know. Possibly. I mean, You can't just hit a fucking medical center and only expect to get certain people in there. Nah. That's wild, though. I'm sure they're going to tell everybody that Hezbollah was hiding in the hospital, like they always do. Like, come the fuck on. There's no way they're hiding in the hospital. Because after all the time we've seen them hitting hospitals, hitting schools, if there's no way I would hide in a school or a hospital if I was getting bombed by Israel, because that's the first place they're going to fucking hit. Obviously. That's the first place they'll fucking hit. It makes no sense why they would be hiding in there. So they just purposely just unleashed fury all over a medical center. Lovely. God almighty. Ugh. Anywho. But yeah. I've bitched about that. Now I feel a little better. Meow. And I managed to bitch about all of that in less than 26 minutes. All right. Nice. All right. And the movie will be starting at 8 p.m. Central Time. We will be watching Monster Squad, because my brain just decided to short out on me there. Sending hugs to Burr, to Miss Frosty, and to Daniel, and to Bone, and to Curtis. Y'all are awesome. A little bit of a hairball. Anywho, so, all right. 25 minutes. I feel like I've done that too quickly. I don't know. Oh, hold on. I do want to see this real quick. Trump, who has insulted Jewish voters who do not support him to attend October 7th memorial. Yikes. I'm a little curious about this. What? Donald Trump, who has long embraced white nationalists and repeated criticized Jewish voters who don't support him, is planning to attend an October 7th, an event on October 7th to honor those killed in Hamas attack. Oh, they're gonna have it at his golf course. That's wild. Like, okay. All right. I gotta look at that real quick because I'm not used to bitching about news this quickly in such a short amount of time. So I feel like I'm missing something. Wait, what was that? Well, I'll do that another day. All right. I send hugs to everybody. It's been fun. I always appreciate you coming to listen to me bitch about stuff. Let me see what that is real quick, just in case it's relevant to this. Oh, okay. Seems that Mikey and Raquel will be there for the Monster Squad watch along. So that's awesome. Hello, Lady Miss. All right, so 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Past that, I'm just kind of hazy on it. But anyways, I shall see y'all soon. Loves y'all. Mm-hmm.